Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Good evening, hello everyone, and welcome to SimSpeed TV, live on the iRacing Esports Network. For the first time ever, this is the Australian Online Supercar Championship presented by West End Mazda and LeBlanc. This is going to be a fantastic season, over 16 rounds over the next 22 odd weeks. Looking forward to bringing you all the action from all of this series here on SimSpeed on the iRacing Esports Network. My name is Jay Kennedy, alongside me, as always, Scott Fountain and also Cameron Dance. Fonty, it's going to be a really, really tough race. We saw last time we were out in this championship at Belle. It was chaos. It was crazy. with the leaders getting involved in lap traffic causing the biggest carnage of the lot.
Yes, hello everybody, welcome to another season of the Australian Online Supercar Championship. Me and Jay called it all of last season, and it was certainly our first season doing it, and we had a lot of fun. It was kind of our go-to thing on a Friday night, and lots of laughs and lots of banter. And yes, I tell you what, to open next season with a track like this, Belle, very difficult. Now it's a little bit different to when we were here last time, and drivers would have had plenty more laps since then, so hopefully we don't see as much carnage, but yeah, certainly no runoff area, walls are tight, and it's going to be a good race, mate.
Sure will, Cam. Pit strategy is probably going to be a key to the night as well, trying to time when you make that pit stop and avoid the safety car.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be one of those things that on this very twisty and tight street circuit, you're really going to have to time it, because you don't want to get caught up in traffic and you don't want to stay out for too long. So it's really going to be making sure you time that strategy right and hit that window so you don't get left.
39 lap race for the drivers. Pit window is somewhere between lap 14 and 25. You can get around about 25 litres to a tank. So 14 is the earliest you can pit and make it home. Of course, that's all weather dependent as well. So looks like the weather shouldn't cause too much in regards to extra fuel usage. So we should see around about that lap 14 through to lap 25 pit window. At the moment, Forza El Nabi on top of the timing sheets, but pretty mixed up field with 7 different teams in the top 7. Actually 8, because Wayne Burke now no longer at Synergy Sim Racing, so 8 different teams in the top 8. That's really good to see.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. It's absolutely fantastic. What a field we've got out there tonight. Currently 47 cars cruising around, so it's pretty impressive. It's going to be an interesting race. I tell you what a way to start off the championship. Some pretty big names coming out here to run. We've got Sam Blacklock. He's two-time Monday night the official iRacing About Supercars Series champion. We've got Harley Haber returning as well. Forza El Nabi, Wayne Burke, Brett Loxton's out there, Jordan Ross. Lots of names. It's going to be great fun.
Some big movers and shakers throughout the off-season as well. One on screen, Marlon McMullen, now joined the team at CMR, so he'll be helping those guys hopefully move their way up the field. We saw a lot of improvement from the CMR team throughout the championship last season. James Scott, who teamed with with Marlon McMullen in the endurance races last season, he's gone to Evolution Racing Team, and as we saw, Wayne Burke left Synergy Sim Racing and is now off to One Performance. He and Dean O'Brien have both made the switch together, and I think that's actually a really huge move for Wayne Burke. He has the potential to do something very, very special from that team.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been plenty of shake-ups, and another one you actually missed was Griffin Gardner joining TTO Esports as well. So, yeah, there's been actually quite a few drivers moving around, and a bit of a silly season going on over Christmas, New Year. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what these new changes are going to do to the field and who's really going to be the ones that are going to stand.
Yeah, you're exactly right, mate. It's I tell you what, the competition's hot and heavy. Sam Sutton out there, it's good to see him having a crack tonight. The newly signed Simworks on the side of those TTL cars, which is quite a cool thing to have. I remember I ran ANZ Motorsport back when ANZ was around, and Jared Filsell ran for
back in the olden
ANZ.
Days.
And yeah, back in the olden days. Well, not the olden days, but you know.
We were broadcasting in black and white, weren't we?
Yeah. Well,
Was that long ago?
It seems like that. It certainly seems like that. But so it's good to see Simworks back on main sponsor on the side of a team, a car, and a fast one at that. So we very interesting to see how they go. Also Cooper Webster out there, and we saw some pretty decent pace from the man in 10th position at the moment, Chris Robinson. He had some great pace throughout last season, as we've just seen him throwing it off the track there. But
just reverse parking and angle parking out there.
Wow, testing the track limits, that's the way you got to do it. So I'd expect big things from him. We saw big things from the Redback Racing team last season, and previous to that as well, they've really come up. Mark Samuel over there, the team manager, is doing a fantastic job. So expect to see good things from them.
Other returning driver too, Brad Ryan. He made his return at the end of last season in V8 Scops to Road America, and actually enjoyed himself for the first time in a long time and stuck around. So good to see Brad. I know he had some great pace on Monday night in the race at Oran Park in the official series, and threw away a victory. He'll be looking for redemption out there on track tonight. I'm going to spend a lot of time trying to understand who's driving what, and understanding all these new colours and new liveries, and some liveries that haven't been submitted. So there's some cars that are looking a little bit plain as well, and some new changes in regards to how liveries will be appearing in the broadcast. But most of the teams have got their colours out on track, which is great to see.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. Yes, do jump on and sign up to SimSpeed Member Zone, where, yes, as Jay was saying there, we've got a whole new policy regarding the custom paint policy and all that sort of stuff. So jump onto our website, check it out. We are in the testing phase of it, so do be patient with us, but we will have that all sorted soon. And yeah, certainly introducing new things, which is going to be good for the community.
On board here with Wayne Burke as he follows another new look for the cross-continental team just ahead. Michael Hammond. Burke on a flying lap, but he might get balked here by Hammond, and he is, so he's had to abort that lap. It's Burke, he doesn't look too happy about it either, because like he got a great start to that lap. We'll go to Harley Habers, just starting a lap, but he's got a little bit of damage to his car from his outlap. Not much time left on the clock either, so these guys are really trying to push out and get these laps done as quick as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. There's only about just over 5 minutes left in the session, so time is definitely running out. Although lap times aren't too long, just under 1 minute 30, as Hay was going right out sideways through the turn 2 section. But yeah, there's not long left, and laps aren't necessarily long, but yeah, they really got to make sure that they get out there and get some times down.
Yeah, you're exactly right, mate. It's times is what is key around here. If you can get a good start and get it off the line, and you're on the front row, stay out of trouble, which I can almost guarantee most of the field won't be able to do. We saw it last time. I think it was Jake Burton actually ran at this round that we had here. I think it was for AOSC, and yeah, he was doing super well and just managed to clip the wall in the dying stages of the race. And we all know how fast Jake Burton is when it comes to driving a virtual V8 supercar. So expect to see plenty of controversy.
On board with Jordan Ross, about to start a flying lap. Another new look for Synergy Sim Racing crew this season. And remember the last time around, Dame Warren at the restart had a lap car between he and the leader. Restarted in second, but the leader didn't pit under that caution.
That's right.
Had a nasty accident at the restart, which took he and a couple of other drivers out of contention. So really, really strange starting area as well at this circuit. It's a really narrow section of the track. Does catch a lot of drivers out with how short that run is from the start line through to turn 1, especially on a flying lap too. The braking in these V8 supercars is not the best, so making sure you pull it up in time is not the easiest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really weird start to the lap, and especially on cold tyres. That turn 2, you really got to be careful on the throttle on those cold tyres, because as we saw last year when IndyCar came here, it was even the pace car struggled and had a bit of one
of the most entertaining moments in the whole of World Motorsport last season, I think, was the safety car whoopsie daisy at Belle Isle in the IndyCar Series race. It's like Jordan Ross has aborted his lap. Wayne Burke looks like he's going to wait to start another one. We'll see what Chris Robinson is doing on his lap. He looks like he's also on an out lap. Trying to find someone on a flyer at the moment. There's not too many drivers actually on their flying lap at the moment. David Kidman is one that is on a flying lap. Down a little bit further than we would expect him to be, down in 36th position at the moment.
Oh, Jay,
He improved
I
out of
tell
sight
you,
last season.
he did, but I'll tell you why he's struggling. And you're going to be able to guess what I'm about to say here. We will see him come up, but he's not running the yellow livery.
Yep, he's
today.
running red instead.
He's running red, so that's definitely the reason why. He is a very good driver. You're exactly right, Jay, and we did see him improve out of sight. But David with yellow livery, mate, absolutely love it.
It's almost improved on that lap. 1:31.3, so no improvement, but pretty close to his best lap. We will go back to Chris Robinson. Actually, he's aborted his lap right on cue. Try and find someone else on a flying lap. As we said, there's not too many out there on flying laps at the moment. Damian Johnson is on a second lap of his run, but not up to pace. Dominic Ferraris is on a flying lap, currently in 30th position. New team out there on track as well. Yeah, the EXG Motorsports team, Exto Gaming.
Yep, you're exactly right, Jay. Great to see these new teams coming out. We had them contact us and let us know that they were coming on board, which is absolutely great, and I'm sure we're going to see amazing things from them in the future. Yeah, what, Brady Myers not doing too bad a job. He's not currently out on track, but he's happy with his position. P6. Got a lot of people. Can't believe it. 50 people running around here tonight. It's if you're sort of in the mid pack, I bet your heart's going to be seriously racing, and you're going to got to be quite alert going into those first few turns, don't you?
We'll have a look at that second or the last row of the grid at the moment. Jake Maloney and Jason Bentz, two drivers, as Ferraris into the fence, so he is done. Checkered flag is about to come out as well, so that is qualifying over for him. Jamie McKnight is on a flying lap, but that final row of the grid at the moment, it's Jake Maloney, Jason Bentz, two drivers that love getting their elbows out and they're fighting their way through the field. They're going to have to do it the very, very hard way, all the way back there.
Yeah, probably in a good position to do it, though. If you can manage to start a trouble, and, we will see safety cars. We're just seeing Jamie McKnight on screen at the moment. Big supporter of sim racing is Jamie McKnight. Big supporter of us as well. He's the man behind the naming rights of this season. That is West End Mazda. If you need a Mazda, new or second-hand as well, go down and check him out. He'll certainly look after you.
Tell him that we sent you and he'll look after you.
Well,
Promise
tell him
you.
that. Tell him that Scott sent you. Don't say Jay sent you.
No, he'll rip you off if
that,
you say I sent you.
He'll charge you double otherwise, But,
It's 100% true.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No, we were fortunate enough to meet Jamie when we were there in Sydney and had dinner with him. And yeah, a really nice guy, and has done amazing things for the sim community. Oh, I tell you what, commitment there from Griffin Gardner.
Down to nothing in the end because the lap was done. Michael Taliantic might be the last driver to punch in a lap time here, and I don't know if he's going to get a lap in.
Pretty competitive field. Look at these names. We've got Brett Loxton and Marlon McMullen sitting back there in 12th and 13th as we pull the starting grid up now.
Yep, so Forza Nabi will start from pole. Decent gap in the end from Wayne Burke in second. Not much between second, third and fourth. Sam Blacklock and Sam Sutton on the second row with Dane Warren and Brady Myers on the third row. Harley Haber and Cooper Webster on the fourth row. Fifth row, Jordan Ross and Brad Ryan.
Then we go back to P11, Chris Robinson, Brett Loxton. Now, he was just saying a little bit further back than what I'd expect. I'm sure he'll make his way up. Marlon McMullen, P13. James Scott, 14. Jacob Knight, 15. Griffin Gardner, P16. Expect good things from him. Jack Boyd in 17th. Nick Cummins, 18th. Luke Harvey in 19th. And Kyle Stokes in 20th.
And then from 21st to rounding out the top 30, we have Joshua Anderson, Jamie McKnight, Zach Best, Michael Hammond, Michael Cracknell, Thomas McMillan, Matthew Deere, Guy Leach, Damian Johnson, and Dominic.
And 31st, got Stuart Vaughan, Michael Taliantic in 32nd, Troy Maguire and Adam Gardner next, with Mitchell Bales and David Kidman on the next row. Blake Purdy and David Sanford, then Matt Morris and Stephen Varga. Rounding out the top 40, we'll quickly go through the rest with Joe Watson, Matt Lepidevin, Daniel Stevens, Matt Muggleton, Andy Sim, Grant Caines, Joshua Pickett, Peter Sadler, and as we said, the last row of Jason Bentz and Jake Maloney. Ready to get underway for 39 laps of racing. It's going to be an action-packed race. It's going to be an entertaining race. It's going to be a tough race and a race of attrition.
Yes, you're exactly right, Jay. About staying out of trouble, and if you stay out of trouble, you don't necessarily have to be the fastest out there on track, but if you can literally keep it off the wall and stay out of other people's incidents, you might find yourself in a pretty good position. I reckon, we always know how fast Forza Nabi is. Definitely expect to see him right there at the end of the day.
Waiting for the last of our field to take to the grid. Get everyone out on the circuit in just a couple of moments. Last couple of cars coming up to grid right now.
Look how far back this field goes.
Don't forget to subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network as well. Keep up to date with all the racing action across the iRacing service. We get ready to get underway. 39 laps of racing here at Belle. Green flag flies we're away. Good jump from Forzan Al Nabi. Have a look at Sam Sutton getting right into the mix here, side by side with Dane Warren.
Yeah, Sam Sutton, he's not afraid to get in amongst it. And whoa, there we go. Big moment there between teammates. Tell you what.
They're going to go 4 wide.
Oh, don't do it, boys. It's lap one. Just back out of it and, fight amongst it. Here we go. Two teammates side by side, and one's going to get squeezed out there. So
we have got an accident back in the field.
Oh, there we go. Oh, so people...
Oh, still wrecking. Got one of the redback cars going very, very slow. And also one of the CMR cars involved as well. We're going to go back to the front.
Big shunt.
Oh, big shunt way back. Oh, the new Exodus
Kidman.
Gaming car is in there as well. So that's hard luck for those guys.
We'll get some replays in a couple of moments as this field starts to slowly settle down. The front of the field has settled. Al Nabi, Burke and Warren breaking away a little bit from the rest of that field. Got a secondary pack as well. But we will get a replay up on screen right now. Also noticed Sam Blacklock started from the pits, which is a little surprising. So let's see if we can work out exactly what has happened back in the field. 38 car, Troy Maguire there.
Oh, okay, so...
There's another car stopped there as well, but we've got David Kinman with his other car. Was facing the wrong direction. Oh, he actually copped a big hit from a CMR car there.
Big shunt there, yeah, huge shunt there. So, unfortunate for Kinman, he was wanting to have a good championship start. We get back live. Big thanks to LeBlanc for sponsoring this series. They were our naming rights for last season, and they've switched positions with West End Mazda for this season.
Joshua Anderson through on Jack Boyd, and Zach Best also getting involved. Good to see Josh Anderson out there in the V8. It's
yes.
A car that we don't normally see him in. He obviously won the Porsche Super Cup we had last season.
Very good driver. I know racing him a few years back in the old Skip Barber. Oh, there we go. Damien Johnston. Yeah, so really difficult position. He's just going to have to sit there and wait.
It is one of the problems with these street circuits is that when you do spin or have a moment, you have to wait, and it's so painful to just sit there and have to
just
life.
Aussie helped. Definitely contact between the 48 car. That's a heavy hit.
That was a big shunt.
Blake Purdy, the other car involved there.
So yeah, very difficult track to start off the season. I tell you what, there's no, just ease into it, guys. Just straight into the toughest one that we have on the calendar.
Dane Warren's tucked right in underneath the rear wing of Wayne Burke. Is he close enough to get a move done here?
I think he's just going to wait, sit back. Oh, he's going to outbrake himself. Oh, I tell you what. So this is going to bring Harley Haber into the mix. So Harley had a good start. He was back in 8th position or 9th position, and yeah, he's sitting back up in 4th position now. So he stayed out of trouble. He's just in front of Sam Sutton. So Sam has dropped a couple of positions. We saw him having a battle there with his teammate in the first few corners. So managed to get out there. Brady Myers under a bit of pressure.
Just getting a replay of Michael Hammond having a big lose at turn 2, and we come through the Scott Fountain section of the circuit. There it is, the Scott Fountain in the background. It's actually funny. It actually is named the Scott Fountain. So we will name it the Fonty.
You know, that's the impact that us here at SimSpeed's trying to make.
Jordan Ross, heavily the pressure he's putting on Brady Myers. Just a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, you can see that. I tell you what, this is hard stuff here.
It's just a train and then behind him, consisting of Brad Ryan, Loxton, Robinson, McMullen, and James Scott not too far behind it.
I'll tell you what, great to see Brad Ryan out there having a run, isn't it, Jay? It's he was around when I raced these things back.
He was around when I raced.
I know.
Met Brad quite a few times.
Oh.
Very, very nice guy. He works for former V8 supercar driver in sign writing business, so always up to date with what's going on up the inside, Ross.
There we go.
Move.
Is he going to squeeze him out?
Oh!
I could see that coming. Tell you what. Oh, there we go. So that's going to be carnage further back. Oh, you could see that happening. I tell you what, all it takes is that little touch in one of these things, and yeah, it's hard stuff. I tell you what, one person who's putting on tremendous pressure, and that is Griffin Gardner. Oh, I'll tell you what, that Simworks car was lucky to get away with that one.
Yeah, it was very, very lucky to actually not end up in the wall himself. I'm actually surprised he held on to that, because usually when that sort of thing happens, you just end up losing the rear end completely. So
yes,
you're very, very lucky there. As I'm also just seeing Loxton and Robinson actually going side by side at the moment to the final sector for.
There we go.
Just outside.
Oh, he's going to close him. Oh, you can
almost both into the wall.
Locked the didn't give him much room there. Man, what a difficult circuit.
Oh, Robinson's been sent out of the pits.
That was not expected, I tell you what. So, he, was that planned?
I don't think
so. I don't think it was.
I think
he's
that,
just,
who was that contact with? That was contact with, I think,
Josh Anderson,
actually.
Oh,
yeah,
so he just got sent in there. Oh, wow. Well, you know, that's probably not the worst place to get sent into.
It's a little bit early to be making pit stops though, which is
yeah,
disappointing.
Yeah, you can see the car smoking away there. This is a tough field. Oh, I don't think.
Oh,
yeah,
got a
not
big
really.
crash out in the track. Zach Best, Jamie
okay.
McKnight, both involved. Let's try and pick this replay up right now. Zach Best has already returned back to the pits. Side by side through turn 3.
Car.
Oh, both heavy contact into the wall.
McKnight's car not looking too flash, is it?
No, not looking too crash hot, that car. Harley Haber's also lost a couple of spots. Luke Harvey also has returned to the pits. He's out of the race as well. So much going on out on track. We're only 4.5 laps in. Cooper Webster and Sam Sutton have both got past Harley Haber. Haber's having a lot of issues. His car is heavily damaged.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back and have a look and see what's actually happened there. Oh, so...
Oh, he's actually hit the wall on the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, but he's had help with that.
Yeah, he's actually run into...
He's run into the
Joshua
back of someone. Yes.
He's actually come out of pit lane, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's unfortunate there for Harley. He'll be absolutely gutted. So Harley is dropping back and back and back as he's come into the pit lane. Incredible damage. And this is what I was saying is, you know, you just got to stay out of trouble around this track.
Oh, there's a replay of it on screen. Just didn't even see the car there, and all of a sudden he's in the fence. So Unfortunate for Haber, he has returned back out onto the circuit into the spare car and back out on track. Gonna have to hope for the safety car to come out and save him in this race, but Nick Cummings in the middle of this pack. Have a look at this pack just behind him. James Scott, Josh Anderson, Jack Boyd, Jacob Knight, Jordan Ross.
Jack Boyd, he's putting pressure on.
What an angry field this is. Everyone's come out with a lot of aggression to try and get themselves back into race mode. It's been a little while since we've been racing in this this field, a few weeks off, and everyone's just gone crazy.
Well, yeah, I tell you what, they've had the Christmas break off, and then they've come back and said, right, no more. That's it. All at it from round one. So, you know, probably we will see it calm down, and there are, you know, when you have a little bit of time off, you kind of get out of the swing of things, and very difficult track for these guys to come to first round. So I'm sure we will see everyone improve. We saw some amazing racing throughout last season, didn't we, Jay? We, you know, we certainly didn't expect to see some of the racing and the battles that we did, and yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Oh, we've got another car off there, McMillan.
Oh, big shunt to turn 3.
Oh, that's
Nick Cummings and Loxton.
Get a long replay of that in just a moment. We'll stay with this replay here. This is McMillan doing the same thing we just saw Haber do, just running a little bit wide.
All on his own.
Yep. Now here's the replay of Loxton. Here Cummings. Loxton, big lockup.
Both
Cummings.
the rears.
Both completely missed it.
That's a bit, yeah, not really Loxton's fault there. The car on the inside just couldn't pull it up really, and he went to go turn in, and sort of nowhere to go there. So it's come from nowhere. Loxton is good on the brakes. You see the rear's locked there. Hits the front, and they maybe would have made it around there if they hadn't had contact. They left rear and right front.
Staying with the replay here, because Griffin Gardner has also come into issues.
Ooh.
So we've got Nick Cummings in the pits. He looks like he might be done. So what's happened here to Gardner?
The car is struggling. Look at the rear end of it just jumping around in all sorts of places. There we go. Oh, no.
Maybe he's used his tyres up a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I think we're about to see him go straight ahead here in the braking zone. There we go. Oh, big lock up, bang into the fence.
Oh, no runoff, eh? This track, it bites.
He's into the pits as well.
Yep, so there we go. So, Forza now Nabi is proving why he is one of the best that we have to offer here from the AusNZ community. He's out there cutting laps, and cutting very clean laps at that too.
He's done the fastest lap of the race. His best lap, 1 minute 30.3. Next fastest lap time, 1:30.6, which is from Dane Warren and Wayne Burr, both virtually identical times. Everyone else is in the 1:31s pretty much.
And
other
Webster's
than
actually
Harley
the
Haber,
quicker. Webster's actually the quicker out of those 3 ahead of him as well in that last lap. So possibly going to have to keep an eye on Webster at some point.
Yep, Webster.
Yep.
Good peddler. He's reasonably new to the sim community, last couple of years anyway, and yeah, certainly shown he's got some pace here today. Sam Sutton, he is staying out of trouble. I've seen him get close to being in trouble, but he's sitting back there in 5th position as well.
It's a good little battle
Anderson,
pack.
Though. Look at it.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's Anderson up in 10th now. This is a great little battle pack going on here between Jordan Ross, Jack Boyd, and Kyle Stokes. This is for 12th, 13th, and 14th. We just saw Ross and Boyd change position. Now here comes Stokes. And through.
Yeah. Oh, light the rears up.
Gaps at the front, all out to a second between the first 5 cars. Fairly big gap back to Brad Ryan in 6th, but these guys in this pack just outside of the top 10 are making the racing quite entertaining right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Closest battle that I can see on track is between Stokes and and Ross. And we've got Samford, Taliancic back there, 19 and 20. These guys are going at it. Jamie McKnight, good to see him back out there having a run in the Holden Cruise, although he is getting past left, right and centre. Not sure who that was, that car that just went past. It was Haber. So Haber has been into the pits. He has repaired his car. The car has come out fresh and he is trying to make a statement. So just got to keep it off the road. I'm guessing one of his teammates here will probably let him past.
Yeah, this front pack of cars, last lap by Al Nabi, 31.5. 31.5 for Burke, 32.0 for Warren, 31.6 for Cooper Webster, but Sam Sutton, 31.3, he's the fastest out of this group, and he's got the gap between he and Webster down to 7/10.
Well, we know how good Sam was. He took a break from sim racing for a couple of years to go and serve in the military, and yeah, before he retired, he was, you know, one of the guys to beat when it came to V8 Scops and to the Monday official stuff. So yeah, certainly don't count out Sam at any point.
Is that battle you were just referring to before as well? Fonte, Michael Taliancic, David Sandford and Blake Purdy all involved here. Taliancic just has a tiny little scrape on the wall. I think that'll hurt his pace too much. Not too far off the pit window opening as well, so we're going to see pit strategy really start to come into things as well, as Haber's just gone through on his teammate and Stephen Vargas, so slowly making his way back forward. But Taliancic looks fairly strong here, just looks nice and composed. And we know Taliancic is the master of the strategy game, so if he can time this right, maybe pit 1 or 2 laps earlier than everyone else, get himself some track position with the safety car when it does get called, going to find himself in a really good spot. But have a look, Sam Sutton's right there now, ready to pounce on Cooper Webster.
He's right there now, and he's 2/10 quicker, so shouldn't be too much longer before we see a move from Sam there, and still actually quicker than Burke and Onabi as well. So he's definitely on a charge, but his teammate Brady Myers not too far behind, a little bit slower, but Sutton extremely strong on the under brakes there as they're heading towards the fountain section. But this is going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on, because it's so close between these two, Webster and Sutton. You can actually see the gap differential closing as well between themselves and one.
Yeah, Dane Warren looks like he's really struggling. He may have burnt the rears up. We know that we are...
Sutton nearly in the wall.
That was very, very close.
He is pushing hard as Sam Sutton, and just needs to be careful, because we are going to see a safety car. So, yes, I think Dane is struggling.
He just absolutely mowing the lawn through turn 1, and so sideways coming out of turn 2.
Right out sideways there.
We saw the last season when we were here that tyre degradation was huge. The gap between the fastest and slowest laps were huge, and the guys that made the biggest moves were the guys that conserved tyres the best. I think Dane Warren's starting to remember right now that conserving tyres is the real important strategy in this race.
Especially rear tyres around this track, where you constantly stop, start, and having to get on the power early as well. So you'll definitely be winding that anti-roll bar back quite far, probably not too far away from getting to minimum at this point. But yeah, he'll really have to start backing off it a little bit, especially if he wants to try and get to the pit window before he runs out. Oh, and he just actually clipped the wall there as well. So he's starting to feel a bit of pressure from Webster here, and if he's not careful, he'll lose another spot to Sutton.
He's just got to wind it back, scale it back a bit, and just take it nice and steady. Compose himself a little bit, give himself a bit of a breath and go again. We know the pace that Dane Warren has, but at the moment, it's crumbling a little bit. He's feeling the pressure from behind. It's not something we're used to seeing from Dane Warren. is him feeling pressure from behind, but you can see it in the way that the car's moving around. He is pushing so hard to maintain this pace.
I tell you what, that ERT car has got a fantastic setup behind it because look how clean it is. He's just looked after the tyres, and we haven't seen him be. Oh, as we're seeing spark flying off that Dane Warren car, I reckon Cooper's going to be making a move here very soon. He looks like he's going to set himself up. Guys might not want to battle too hard. Warren is feeling it, feeling the pressure.
Say at the end of the straight here, Webster's probably going to find a way past.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I think the move will be happening right now. Cooper Webster looking really strong, but Dane Warren, look at how far to the right he is defending this position. Has he outbroke himself? No, he pulls it up very, very well. But Sam Sutton is the best braker out of these three, and have a look at how much he's closed up in the big heavy braking zone.
Yeah, he's actually still the quickest out of these three as well by nearly half a tenth to Warren and 2/10 to Webster. So he's probably just biding his time, saving tyres, waiting till these two possibly make a mistake or Webster makes a move so he can fire it up there as well. As Webster all over the back end of Warren there.
Wow, this is so close, isn't it? This is absolutely great racing. Look, he's getting close.
Bumpy.
Oh, bit of a bump draft there. Oh, but Webster's not going to have the front tyres now.
Watch out for Sutton here. Sutton's going to get the run coming out of turn 2, and he could pounce, maybe get them both.
Here we go.
Movers on.
Webster up the inside. Is he going to be able to do
is
it?
he going to get room? Oh, here we go. We may see this, what we saw
Nearly
the
there.
last time. No, so
Great
Webster's
driving.
gonna back up, but this is going to open up the opportunity here for Sutton, but he's not going to be able to get the inside line, so Sutton's going to have to back off. Webster's looking fast. He's just not. Oh, here we go. So now Webster under pressure.
Sutton's just waiting here, I think. I think
Yes,
he could have made the
I
move
feel
there.
right.
Just like, no, I'll just wait for you boys to fight it out. Maybe take each other out. Pit window is open after this lap too, so I think some of these guys in this pack and at the front of the field are going to be really thinking about pit strategy. The other thing to factor in is you don't want to pit too early and get yourself stuck with lap traffic.
Yeah, or put new tyres on too early and end up having being the sitting duck as Webster looks.
Contact!
Oh, there we go. There we go. So here we go. This is going to open up the opportunity for Sam. Sam's going to be able to get these guys here.
Oh, big hit!
Out of the fence.
Big hit. Okay, so Webster has got through on this one. Tell you what, I think Warren was a little bit at fault there because he tried to come across and kill Sutton's run.
And the readdressing
Wow.
actually caused that because Webster
Yes.
readdressed to Warren and then Warren checked up.
Wow.
Huge incident here between these guys, all fighting. These are
Right.
guys that we could see in championship contention come the end of the season. Webster, I don't think,
Ooh.
realised Sutton was coming across. And
Okay, so sorry, my mistake there. I thought that was Warren that made the mistake. No, Webster come across and yeah, was probably just trying to slow Sutton down a little bit, but Sam already had the move and Sam don't back out ever, so yeah, disappointing. And I said it again, this track bites.
Dane Warren has taken the opportunity to jump in the pits. He's the first of our lead group of drivers to be in the lane. So, could see this play out bizarrely in his favour because remember there is a safety car to come. He has pitted before the safety
here
car.
we
We
go,
know that's an
Marlon,
advantage.
Marlon.
McMullen's going to go past Brady Myers side by side.
Oh, is he going to back out? Oh, I tell you what, that is a
Brady's gonna hold
fantastic move, but he's going to outshoot himself. Can he keep it off the wall? Yes,
Just.
he does. Marlon is a good driver, I tell you what, and he's done pretty well. So he's sitting back. He's sitting up in P6. He started in 13th, I think. His car is still in a very straight condition.
So will we see anyone in this group of cars jump into the lane? Yes.
Brady Myers, Sam Sutton.
So only those two out of that lead group have taken this opportunity to jump in the lane. Josh Anderson, I must say I'm very, very impressed. Someone who openly admits he's a useless V8 supercar driver. That's his words. He's in 7th.
He's actually doing really, really well. Decent pedaler himself, and it's a little bit strange to see a Ventville livery on that car. But yeah, he's not actually doing too bad for himself considering how little he drives this car. So clearly the transition from driving a GT car to driving a V8 hasn't really phased him all that much.
Well, we do hear that guys that drive the Porsche say that there is some similarities between the Porsche and the V8. We know that Jared Filsell did a great job in the Porsche new Pro Series qualifiers. He did a great job in 2nd place last weekend. So you know that Josh Anderson, as we said, he won the last season of Porsche Super Cup. So he's had great form in that car. Transferred over into the V8 quite easily by the looks of things. We know that this car isn't easy though.
No, definitely isn't. I can speak from experience. It's not the easiest thing to drive. It does take quite a bit of commitment and a bit of time to get used to it and be able to drive it competently and also quite quickly. So, yeah, it's actually really good. As I've just seen McMullen come into the pit lane, but as I was saying, really, really good to see Josh up there and do so well.
Oh, that's
Seb
so
Sutton,
close.
Michael Hammond.
Oh,
It's
here we
contact
go.
between Sutton and Hammond.
Okay.
There's also Dane Warren's in around there too. Luke Harvey's involved in that one as well.
That's yeah, that's a bit unfortunate from those guys, I tell you what, but probably a little bit too aggressive there on Sutton's behalf, I think.
Yeah, well, he wanted to get that fresh tyre advantage. Of course, he's just come out of the pits. Michael Hammond running a completely different strategy. This is what Cam was talking about before, and Cam and I were talking about before. When you do time your pit stops, you really got to be careful in where you position yourself back out on the circuit. And I think that sort of started from Sutton taking way too much curb there. And Hammond, a bit strange from Hammond there. Not going to put the fault on Hammond there, but something that I know that Race Control will go back and look over again is, look at these three all together. Marlon McMullen, three wide with Brady Myers and Dane Warren.
Oh,
And just behind as well is James Scott.
Well, Brady's actually going to hold it round the outside and get the job done.
oh, here we go.
Oh,
Tell you what.
a little bit of contact.
Oh, how did he keep it off the wall there? I don't know.
Wow. What a fight. These guys are all on fresh tyres trying to get themselves some track position in comparison to the likes of Wayne Burke, Brad Ryan, Cooper Webster and our leader, Fozen El Nabi, as Dane Warren late on the brakes against Brady Myers.
Yeah, Dane just showing the nose there to try and force Brady to brake a little bit later and lock a wheel or make a mistake or something, but clearly hasn't worked too well.
One thing about this as well is these guys will be getting a bit more pace now, but I'm wondering if Dane has made an adjustment to the car under that pit stop as well, because we know that that car did not look too healthy going into the latter stages of that first stint. I'm hoping for his sake he's made some sort of adjustment to the car. It does look a little bit better now, but of course, brand new tyres. Have a look at that, Brady Myers. Wow. Just held on there, did Brady Myers.
That was just as
That was nearly
as it
fence.
gets. You can, yeah, that was pretty much nearly in the fence. You can't believe that Brady saved that. That massive bump really quick.
Front of the field, Fozen El Nabi now in the lane. Cooper Webster also coming in now too. So Wayne Burke has also pitted. He's out there. Fresh track all to himself. Brad Ryan also has come out of the pits. He's diving up the inside of Adam Gardner and will get it done. Up on two
Nearly
wheels.
actually was the car too.
Why don't you?
That was pretty spectacular. Of course, we still have a safety car to come as we're pretty much at the halfway point in this race. Brady Myers, Dane Warren, Marlon McMullen, and also James Scott not too far behind as well. We've got to watch out Jordan Ross closing in on these guys too. So this is going to be a really entertaining pack as we've got the rest of our lead group in the pits as well. Tell you what, we're going to have an interesting restart when we go green after this safety car when it finally comes.
It's going to be interesting to see whether anyone actually pits for new tyres under that safety car, because while it's going to be probably not too many laps remaining, that fresh tyre advantage is definitely going to kick in fairly early on, and you're going to have a massive advantage. Some of this guys
There we go. See you later. That
That's
was
race
Dane
done.
Warren. Good night, nurse. He, I don't think we'll see him come back from this
No,
one.
that's done. That's too much wheel damage. That's big steering damage. Of course, he'd already had that incident, so he would have been using his spare car after that last pit stop. Bang! You see the heavy contact in the wall. Then it's just turned hard right as well. So that's race done for Dane Warren. But I'll tell you what, we've had a change for the lead coming out of the
I was
pits.
just gonna
Forza
say that.
Alnabi has come out behind Wayne Burke.
Yeah, so fantastic stop. He must have caught him up coming into the pit lane, I reckon, because you look at their times, Jay, and there's only 0.4 of a second between them. So,
Just the outlap, probably the fast
fantastic.
outlap for Dane Warren. For Wayne Burke. I'm going to say it'll be all the difference is between those two guys.
Yeah, you're probably right there, mate. It's what a new tyre advantage kind of makes, but I'm sure Forzan will want to pop him pretty early. He certainly has the pace to. These guys just want to race clean. They race each other regularly, and you know, they know each other how they're gonna go. So hopefully they don't take each other out like we've seen the rest of the field do, or one of them put it in the wall. Forzan hasn't been behind anyone until now, so it's always different when you are that second place car, and the aero certainly does different things. So you just might want to be careful of that. As we look at Jake Maloney now, right up there.
Started 50th.
Yeah,
Started
I know.
50th in 4th.
And
Now-
he hasn't even done a pit stop.
No,
How
he hasn't done a
is
pit
that?
stop. If he times his pit stop well, he's going to jump half the field or more. Is the guy who was battling with Jason Benz. They were actually still nose to tail not that long ago as well. So unbelievable that Maloney finds himself there. But here comes Forzan once again. Don't think he's close enough to get a move done. But it's going to be an interesting fight here.
Forzan's looking really good here, although that slightly fresher tyre on Burke's car, it's gonna be something Forzan's gonna have to be aware of, and he's gonna really have to think about this because he doesn't want to leave the move too late, or Burke's gonna still have
Safety car.
It's the caution.
Here we go. Instantly
There
they're
we
saving
go.
fuel. Will we see any of
That
those
is the
guys that
moment.
pitted, say, maybe 5, 6, 7 laps ago jump into the pits? Someone like, say, Marlon McMullen, who would have been using the tyres up to try and get past Brady Myers and Dane Warren, may come in and get another set of tyres.
There we go. So you can already see Forza Nabi right off the gas pedal there. He's just cruising around. Save that little bit. Save the tyres. Jacob Knight, he's
It's gonna be
also
a
going to need
Net
to.
fifth. Net fifth, Jacob Knight's going to be when Jake Maloney jumps in the pits. So, what a good job
Yeah,
from
so
him.
his stop though, Jay, 4 seconds slower.
Yeah, very slow stopping. Very quick stop in comparison. 4 seconds quicker. So that'll be interesting to see as well. But, got 38 of our 50 drivers still continuing on, which is a little bit better than the last time we were here at Belle Isle, and also better than when we were at the Charlotte Roval as well. So still 36 drivers on the lead lap and 38 drivers out on track. But, only 2 drivers that had not pitted before that safety car came out. Those being...
Maloney and Keynes.
Yep. Grant Keynes finds himself in 18th. Of course, he was involved in the incident earlier on in the race too. We see half the car missing, driving the Holden Cruise version. And as we said, Maloney started in dead last, 50th position, now finds himself in 4th. That's a pretty good job. He'll be pretty happy with how that's gone so far. Gonna have to do it all again though. That's never easy.
He won't fall too far down the field under the safety car, but he'll definitely have his work cut out. Although new tyres versus the rest of the field, it'll be interesting to see how he goes, and depending on how many people pit as well. For...
Speaking of Grant Keynes, he's in the fence. What's happened there? Has the field checked up and he's just missed it, or has something else happened? Has he been
Looked like it.
hit from behind, or has he had a failure? Or
Yeah, it just looked like a technical issue because he was going in a straight line in fourth gear and then just suddenly, oh, he had to actually check up quite a bit because the rest of the field checked up and he actually locked the rear brakes. So yeah, that's really strange one there.
making his way back to the front of the field, or back to his actual position. So lights still on the iRacing Roof official pace car. We'll see Jake Maloney jump in the pits, but will we see anyone else come in? Maloney in. We've also got Matt Muggleton coming in. He is 2 laps down, and Pickett is 1 lap down, so no surprise there. See who else jumps in the pits. Grant Kane's coming in, no surprise.
And
Here
Leopardeven as well.
Leopardeven in. So Leopardeven actually pitted on
and
lap
Johnston.
1, so that's no surprise there. Johnson also pitted early for a spare car. Saw him involved in an incident early. Also got David Kidman, Matt Morris, who were also involved in incidents early as well. So they're all in the pits, but no one that has pitted for a sneaky fresh set of tyres halfway through. So reset the field, still 1 more lap under this caution period. So Burke, El Nabi and Webster the top 3. Brad Ryan in 4th, Jacob Knight doing a great job in 5th, Marlon McMullen in 6th, James Scott in 7th, Jordan Ross in 9th, and Kyle Stokes in the 10th position.
You almost can't predict who's going to win this because it's far too close to call. I mean, you could almost say anyone inside the top 10 could possibly.
Yeah, 100%. Even the likes of Harley Haber, who's now back out there after doing 2 pit stops. We saw him coming early to get damage fixed. He's come in and done his scheduled stop. Back in 11th. You could even say someone like him. But Al Nabi and Webster are in the best spot in regards to tyre life. Only 3 laps old. Of course, they had 2 flying laps for the caution, or 1.5 flying laps. So
how fast Cooper was.
Yeah,
and
the second half of
how
that
good
stint.
his car looked as well.
So we'll see how they all fare. Best in regards to tyre life. Jason Bentz was actually in the pits finalising his pit stop when the caution was called. So he's in an okay position as well. Currently 19th, and he's actually come out ahead of Jake Maloney, who just, as we saw Jake Maloney come in the pits, 25th. So still plus 25 at the restart. That's not a bad effort for Mr. Maloney.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's on brand new tyres as well compared to pretty much everyone in front of him. So this is going to be really interesting to see how many more positions he can gain and where he's going to end up actually with what's going to be 16 laps to go when we go green.
Yeah, it should be pretty close to that, I think. So we've still got 1 more lap under caution. So longest or most laps on tyres is Jamie McKnight. He pitted earlier after that incident he had, and he's back out there with a spare car as well, fresh car, so he's back out there and good to go, but he will have to make another pit stop. Also, Troy Maguire will have to come into the pits again as well for some more fuel. But, lights are now off on the iRacing Roof safety car, so safety car will come in this lap. We'll restart, 16 laps to go.
Jamie McKnight has had his car repaired as well, so he's sitting in an alright position there. He's a few laps into it, so he is going to need to do.
You will definitely need more
couple
fuel.
more.
Yeah, definitely will need more fuel. 10 laps into his stint. He could be pretty close. If you can save enough fuel, it's a very, very tough track to save fuel on. So he might not be able to save enough fuel. He might find himself maybe 1-2 laps short. If you can time it okay, might find himself in an okay spot, not lose too much ground. Probably want to leave that as late as he possibly can. Have the field stretched out a little bit more, but Tell you who's still saving fuel. It's Forza El Nabi. Look at how much gap he's given to Wayne Burke here.
Yeah, he's probably going to need to. I think Wayne is going to need to probably save some more too.
Well, so's
Yeah,
Cooper
we've
as
got-
well, looking at the pit stop times. He was quicker than Burke by a second, so Webster might still find himself in fuel issues. Jacob Knight's the one that I'm very concerned about. He was a very, very quick pit stop.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Well, so this is going to be interesting because it means a couple of guys are going to have to possibly save fuel as
But probably a few of them are thankful that there's the extra lap under caution. Because if there was only the 2 laps under yellow, they wouldn't be able to save as much fuel as the 3. So might be able to stretch it out enough. But Jacob Knight, 4 seconds short of pit stop. It's going to be a very, very interesting final phase of the race. We'll keep an eye on Jacob Knight and see how he goes. I'm waiting for a message to come through to see whether he's okay on fuel or whether they're struggling. I'm going to guess that the silence that we'll probably hear, and you can have a look at, he's going offline, maintaining momentum. He is really, really tight on fuel. Have a listen. There's no throttle at all in Jacob Knight's car.
Yeah, he's right on the idle limit as well.
Fourth
Almost
gear.
be turning the car.
Yep. 4th gear, just idling around. He is well and truly saving as much as he can. But Wayne Burke back in the field up. We're ready to get underway. The safety car has pulled away. And we're about to go green
It's
flag
going to be
now.
interesting. Who can take advantage, I reckon.
Oh, good jump.
Good job.
Oh, yeah, fantastic jump there. Went right at the right point, and now it's left Forzen under a little bit of pressure from Cooper Webster.
Yeah, Webster now looking to pounce and capitalise. Got a little bit of shuffling back in the field, but it looks like for the most part we're single file. We will keep an eye on Jacob Knight over the next few laps. So have a look at Cooper Webster and the run that he got coming out of turn 2.
Oh, Blacklock's in the wall with a big shot on Black.
Oh, no.
Turn 2.
There we go. Sam Blacklock, not the night he wanted. Started from pit lane and, yeah, taken out. It is unfortunate. What's happened here?
Big late dive there from
Ooh.
the number 48 car, Blake Purdy, and then missed the apex completely. That is race over for Purdy. It looks like it might be night over for Blacklock. He is limping his way back to the pits, and he is done because that car is toast. Unfortunate for Blacklock. Rossi was the endurance champion 2 seasons ago. Rossi's come on board with his media company as part of the sponsor crew for this season. So great to have Sam on board in the sponsors crew. So have a look at Brady Myers. He's starting to apply a bit of pressure to Jacob Knight. I think he knows that Knight's in fuel trouble and trying to apply some pressure, forcing Knight to use a bit more fuel.
Yeah, that could possibly be the case, as you do want to try and make them burn as much fuel as possible, but there's actually quite a bit of a battle pack going on not too far behind them as well, between Matthew Dare and Joshua Anderson, getting real close there.
Oh yeah, and also in there, Jason Bentz getting involved as well. Taliancic and McKnight also very, very close. But side by side here, Matthew Deere, Josh Anderson. Anderson up the inside. Bentz is going to try and capitalise this contact.
Oh, here we go. Wow. They were lucky to get away with that. And then we've got a redback car that's been brought in the mix as well.
There's Stephen Varga getting involved. We're going to go back up the front because have a look how close Brady Myers is. He's tucked in under the rear wing. Did lose a little bit of momentum. He was a little bit closer. Just ahead the other TTL car, Brad Ryan, he's looking really strong too, applying pressure to Cooper Webster. This is really throwing up a curveball. Knight, here we go.
On contact between himself and Myers.
This is going to be an intense battle, and El Nabi starting to close back on Wayne Burke as well. And Knight's lost so much ground to that front four. He's now 2 seconds back, so definitely holding up this group, saving fuel. Fuel is definitely an issue for him right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's actually quite a bit slower as well. His last lap there was a... So I've just lost on time. There we go. 32.1 versus Birkenau Nabi's 30.5 and 4. So it's really, really tight as Myers goes up the inside to take the position. So Myers now clear of Knight, which will give him plenty of clean air. And Knight's actually slowed down.
Yes, I think Knight
So
may have
big
got a
issues.
penalty for cutting the corner, possibly. Maybe through the turn 1 section. He's lost a lot of momentum. Also just been sent a really
his
cryptic
teammates
message.
fit him in the wall.
here we
Oh
go.
no, Harley Haber making wheel-to-wheel contact. Just got sent
Harley
a
is
cryptic
an
message
aggressive
saying
driver.
that they are, well, I'm guessing they're short on fuel. So that was the cryptic message I got. Not sure if
There
that's
we
the
go.
correct message, but it was very cryptic. We like cryptic messages though.
We certainly do. Yes, well, you're probably right there, mate. And yeah, it's when you're struggling with fuel in a track like this, it's kind of, you know, to drive a sort of a fast but defensive line is not easy. Oh,
Big
there we go.
slide
Harley
there
is struggling.
For Jacob Knight. It's all sorts of crossed up. He might lose another couple of positions here. Michael Cracknell also getting involved, getting close too. It's a little bit hard to get used to. Cracknell running a new number this season, 205. Seen him in the 005 for so long.
Oh, there we
Knight's
go.
here we go. So that's that done. Go back up the field because Brad Ryan is getting really, really close. Last lap by 2/10 quicker. Only one car on track faster than Brad Ryan last lap, and that was Forzen El Nabi. So his first and second and third and fourth battles are well and truly on.
Yeah, absolutely. 12 laps to go. It's going to be interesting to see what Brad can do with his experience and time on track. So, going to have to keep an eye on it because it's going to get really, really close come the end of
Jordan Ross and James Scott also very, very close with Harley Haber not too far behind. And have a look at the run that Jordan Ross has got. Got the momentum. Might be close enough to get a move done.
He's looking, but not going to make the move.
And Haber's trying to get involved in this too. This is for 7th, 8th and 9th. Very, very tight fight.
Yeah, Hay was actually 3/10 quicker than Ross that last lap as they're all
Oh.
checking up there. But Haber's the quicker one out of those three, so if he can find a way by, he should be able to move up into 7th position and possibly even move it into 6th, possibly, if he can catch him.
Well, the pace he's got, he might be able to close up in on McMullen. So McMullen out there all on his lonesome at the moment, but James Scott doing a really good job. Ironic that McMullen and Scott, they started on the same road. They drove Enduros together last season. Now both join new teams. Jordan Ross, though, will get the move done here.
I tell you what, that was that was probably a little bit too ambitious there from Haber. He did see a gap. There was a gap there, but probably not close enough.
So that's just taking the pressure off Ross as well. So Ross now with a bit of clean air and less pressure to try and catch up to Marlon, and he's actually done that a little bit and was quicker by a 10th that last lap as well. So slowly but surely closing that gap, and he's actually not too bad under brakes either. So gonna be interesting to see whether Ross can actually get this move done. And
Yeah, he's closing up fairly quickly, but have a look at how close this lead pack has got. All four in the top four, and now within 2 seconds of each other. Brad Ryan, Cooper Webster, and Forzen El Nabi are all closing in on Wayne Burke right now.
Yep, this is certainly going to be an interesting finish. We have not a huge amount of laps to go.
11.
So 11 to go, and it's yeah, it's going to certainly be a great finish. I'll tell you what, these boys right at the front will certainly turn it on for everybody. It's going to be hard to beat Forzen. He is an absolute machine, and he keeps the pressure under control, and also Wayne Burke is a very good driver. So yeah, I'm excited to see who can take this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight all the way to the end. Burke, we know, is always tough to be past. He's really good at defending and holding his position. And Forzan's probably one of the best overtakers we have in the V8. We've seen how good he is at making moves and forcing other drivers into mistakes. So this is going to be a really tough fight for the next 10.5 laps. Don't go anywhere here on the iRacing Esports Network, because this is going to be intense. Two of the best we have in the V8 Supercar out there in the lead.
Yep, certainly is. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this season. Hopefully we have Forzan give it a good crack. We had him turn up in a few, but missed out on a few last season. I'll tell you what, one person who could still be right in the mix there, and that is Marlon McMullen. He has probably got the pace, and he certainly has the fuel load, I think, to get right there. Potentially we could see a podium from him if anything happens a bit further up.
Just watching a little bit of heartbreak on screen, because the great story of Joshua Anderson moving his way through the field is over. He is out of the race, and we are about to see why right now. Contact between he and Talyancic, and then there's secondary contact, heavy contact into the wall, and that is wheel damage. His race done. So as we come back live, Jordan Ross is right on the tail of Marlon McMullen. Jordan Ross is so quick right now. Fastest car on track is the 143.
Here we go.
Really, really cool.
143. Yes, he's never slow, is he? We've seen some great racing from Jordan, and yeah, have we seen him? We have seen him win an Australian Online Supercar Championship event.
Sure we have. I'm sure we have.
I'm sure we have. Can't remember the stats off the top of my head, but we have seen him win Monday night stuff, and yes, I tell you what, when it comes to enduro stuff as well, he's no slouch. So don't know if he's got the outright pace to catch right up to those front guys, but hey, anything can happen. And I tell you what, Forzan Alnabi is looking very racy.
This is going to be a very, very tough fight. As we said, these two guys are two of the best at doing what they need to do. Wayne Burke is great at defending. Forzan Alnabi is great at overtaking. It's what they both have to do right now. 9 laps to go. Burke, Alnabi, Webster, and Ryan. The top 4 have absolutely blitzed away from the rest of the field.
He's doing really, really well, and it's going to be in a matter of time.
Oh, looking a bit further back, Jake Maloney making a move.
Well, this is going to be dangerous. Tough spot to pass around the outside through turn 2. Watch the wall. Just behind, Brett Loxton's going to try and take advantage here of Matthew Deere as well. Just ahead, you can see Jason Bentz up the inside of Michael Talyancic, not able to get it done. But Maloney's through, and also Loxton through. Matthew Deere's given up the spot to his teammate in Brett Loxton. I must say, those KRF cars, they are awesome to look at. They are probably a winning delivery of the year so far. A few teams still yet to release theirs, but that is a very, very cool look. Very, very different. Something very, very fresh.
It's definitely stands out on track. Yeah, won't miss it, that's for sure, with the rather interesting graffiti slash rainbow style. Strange. Yeah, actually.
McMullen, I just noticed on the timing sheet, was slow coming out of the Fonty section. Was there help? No, he's just completely locked up and missed the apex completely. So McMullen, actually no, Jordan Ross has just redressed. So there must have been a little bit of contact there. It was hard to see from the angle we had. But Jordan Ross has redressed and also getting in on this now. Harley Haber's closing in on this fight too. So Haber's closing on Jordan Ross. Fastest car on track last lap by was Cooper Webster. So that front 4 pack is well and truly heating up.
Yeah, Webster's right all over the back end of El Navi now. Lost a little bit on the
Oh, here we
exit
go,
there.
Hammond and Varga. He was going right at it. Way back down here for 20th, 21st. Having a good crack. Tell you what, this track is so difficult, isn't it? I have never... Oh, a little bit of a shunt on the way through. Obviously wasn't happy with something there.
Nothing like a little bit of push and shove out there on track.
Yeah, it's not racing unless you're rubbing doors, but you like that stuff, but you got to do it cleanly. And these guys look to be racing pretty hard, but as I was saying, this track, I haven't had the pleasure of driving around here on the iRacing service as of yet, and I certainly do look forward to it. Oh, just seeing one of those cars there, I think it was the 143 car, just slightly touched the wall.
7 laps to go. Still a lot of fighting going on out there on track. Brett Loxton through on Jason Bent. So Loxton now up into 17th position. Oh, there's contact though between them both sideways.
Here we go.
Oh, and Loxton.
Loxton has
Race
not had
gone from bad to
Oh,
worse.
Big incident. Who was that? That's tangled up with it as well.
Varga.
That's
Hammond
the,
and Varga.
Nearly.
Varga.
missed
So
as well.
Varga not happy.
Wow.
Tell you what,
That was
Loxton,
Loxton
when
got
he
the
has a
great
bad
move
race,
done. Yeah,
when he
just
has a bad race, he has a terrible race. So
that one was all on Bents there. That was
yeah,
well and truly missed the braking marker, missed the apex, sideways into the side of Brett Loxton. And then unfortunate there is Stephen Varga tried to avoid the avoid contact, and I don't think Hammond realised that there was anything going on there. So just noticed too on the timing sheet that Marlon McMullen, Jordan Ross have changed positions again. So look like I'm going to be able to get a replay of what's happened there, but Jordan Ross is now through on Marlon McMullen. No redress this time, and we're going to go back to the leaders because it is on.
so Haber's lost a few spots as well. So he must be either fuel saving or he's made a mistake, but he went from 8th back to 11th. Also, so Hammond is in.
Yeah, Hammond's out of the race, he's in the pits, I think he's done.
Yeah, oh yeah,
After
okay,
that
yep.
contact.
There we go.
I've actually just gone back and had a look at what happened to Haber, and he actually clipped the inside wall coming onto the back straight. So that's why he's actually dropped a few positions, and doesn't actually look like he's got any damage on the car. So he might have actually just got away with it too.
Here we go. Jake Maloney looking very racy now against Michael Taliancic as Taliancic lets him go. Oh, as actually saying that, Maloney has cleaned the wall up on that braking point.
Also just noticed too, Brad Ryan has just clipped the wall too. He's now well and truly out of this fight. We're going to stay with the leaders because this is on. Cooper Webster is well and truly in this. He's saved a little bit of tyre. He looks really strong right now. 5.5 laps to go.
Look who's done the fastest lap though, Jade. Brad Ryan with a 1:31.1. He is the fastest, so if he hasn't damaged his car when he's clipped it, he might be in with a chance here. This is going to be a fantastic finish. Cooper Webster looking super racy. That car has looked fantastic all day. Oh, there we go again. Brad Ryan in the background just touching it. He is seriously pushing.
Well and truly on it is Brad Ryan. He's just trying to find the absolute limit. It's just dropped off the pace a little bit. But Cooper Webster is the fastest car on track last lap by 5 to go. In this 150 kilometre race.
Here
Oh,
we
he
go.
goes falls out.
Here we go. Here we go. And this is going to leave the door open here for Cooper Webster, but he's going to back out. Brad Ryan just hanging in the background there. Potentially he's used up all his rears. He's going to... Wayne Burke is covering, and he's going to get the run here because Wayne had to jump off the gas. Is he going to in and out of this next
Cooper
turn?
Webster through.
The inside.
Here we go. So
On Ryan's going to
El
get involved.
Navi really struggling with internet connection, and Webster's going to look to the inside. Is he going to pop on the outside? No, here we come. He's going to go outside, but he's going to
watch out for the wall. He's hit it.
Oh,
Oh, Cooper Webster in the wall. Brad Ryan in the
Brad
wall.
Ryan. What happened there? I think he did that all on his own.
Yeah, just clipped that right side wall with the right rear, and that was it.
Tell you what, Brady Myers could be in this too because he's closing in pace-wise on Wayne Burke. LeBlanc replay on screen now. Now you see Cooper Webster. I think Brad Ryan probably overcompensated, thinking that that Cooper Webster needed a little bit more room. Didn't concentrate on his own little bit there and just clipped that wall. Sent him around. Heavy impact. Heavy damage. Continuing
Heavy
on, it's currently in
damage,
fifth.
I think Webster could still definitely come back from here, though.
I'll tell you who could still come back and win this is Jordan Ross.
Look at... Yeah, wow.
A little
I
bit
don't
too
know
far
if
back,
he's-
but you never know.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right. I tell you what, if Webster, let's see on this next lap by, he doesn't look to be struggling too much. He's definitely missing that left front guard, but he may have got away with not too much damage. What a fantastic race we've had. Wayne Burke definitely struggling, and he'll be struggling potentially with fuel as well.
Possibly. Could possibly be struggling with fuel. We'll see if fuel is not an issue. Just noticing too, Jacob Knight has got back out there after making that pit stop. And he's now
Brady Myers.
26th. Yeah, Brady's
Brady
closing.
Myers is fast. He is so fast. He is at 131.175. That is definitely the fastest car on track there by miles. So his car looks to be pretty clean. We have, what's that, 4 laps to go, and well, if he can keep pressing on and keep it off the wall, we could see him in this fight as well.
Tell you what was interesting there, just on board with Forza El Nabi, the wheel spin in third, fourth, fifth gear as he's crunching through the gears. Just so much wheel spin going on in that car right now. So the rears are gone well and truly. Last lap by though, Forza El Nabi a 131.1. Brady Myers a 131.3. So it's really down to these front three guys.
Here we go.
Burke versus El Nabi.
Here we
is the
go, he's
battle.
going to throw it, the late move, he's going to pull it, is he
missed
going to
it.
pull it up? That was the question, yes he
No.
is! Oh no, he's going to hit the wall, so this is going to leave the gap open there for Cooper Webster. I think you might be right, Jay, we could see Cooper get right up here. If he can chase down Burke, I reckon it's going to be hard for Al Nabi to get past
Ryan's
him
giving
now.
up the spot to Jordan Ross as well. El Nabi's going to have to really work to come back here.
Myers could be on for a
certainly
podium
is.
as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Brady Myers is not out of this at all.
No, I think you're right. So, what, 1.5 seconds between Myers and Al Nabi. It's 1.1 seconds
Oh, El
between
Nabi.
Webster and Burke. So potentially Forzan is faster than Webster.
Forzan's struggling with rear grip. You can just see, and when you listen on board, there's just so much wheel spin. He's still spinning wheels as he's going through the gears before the braking zone there. So he's really struggling with rear grip. None of it at all at the moment. So Wayne Burke might be okay. 2 laps to go. What a fight this has been. What a race this has been.
Fantastic race, but we love it. It's yeah, you know, these guys rock up. It's a Friday night, and they just come out there and have some fun. But at the same time as having fun, things get pretty serious. And I'll tell you what, this has been a serious race. What a great race we've had. What a great way to start the season of the West End Mazda Australian Online Supercar Championship.
Fastest car on track last lap by was Jake Maloney. He finds himself in 15th position, just behind Harley Haber, and Haber is still struggling with that car at the moment, so he might be able to get himself a couple more spots there. Will Maloney, see how he goes.
So, oh yeah, we're
This is going to be
I'll tell you
emotional,
what.
but Myers could get a podium.
yeah, I was just gonna say that he's fast, 0.4 of a second faster than those other guys in front of him, and he doesn't have to worry about Jordan Ross behind. But if Forzan and Webster battle too hard, then Myers could definitely come in the mix here. Webster is closing on Burke though.
He is. It's down under a second once again, so stretch out a fair bit. Have a look at the commitment though from Cooper Webster, white flag in the air. This is the final lap of this race, and what a race it's been. 39 laps have absolutely flown by, and it's not over. Well and truly not over. Here comes El Nabi trying to do something a little bit different, but loses all of the momentum. Fastest car in this group, Forzan El Nabi. Turn 2's looked like the best spot for him to pass. He just hasn't been able to get it right.
You have really tricky acceleration zone as well with that big bump in the middle of the turn, so he's really going to have to work with it, and with those pretty short rear tyres, he's going to have his work cut out from trying to get a good exit.
Brady Myers has got it down to 1.2 seconds. We also know that Cooper Webster potentially could be slightly marginal on fuel as well, so especially in comparison to the cars around, he was a second quicker in the pit stop. Could he cough at the line? Could Brady Myers steal a podium here? This is not done, but at the moment, Wayne Burke has done enough. 3 corners to go now. Just got to hold on. But Wayne Burke, first outing for his new team, One Performance Racing. And he's going to cross the line. Congratulations, Wayne Burke wins round 1 of the West End Mazda Australian Online Supercar Championship. Cooper Webster in second, Forzan El Nabi third. Brady Myers finishes in 4th position, Jordan Ross 5th. Brad Ryan limps it home for 6th from Marlon McMullen. Kyle Stokes will finish in 8th position, James Scott in 9th. And Jack Boyd, great job from him in 10th position. Driver of the day though, Jake Maloney, from last to 14th.
Yeah, we have seen that happen, haven't we, in previous events last season, where Maloney does that. But I tell you what, one person I'm definitely giving it up to, and that is Cooper Webster.
Oh,
What a
big
track.
crash!
Oh.
Varga in the wall on the last lap. He was just trying to get a run on Dominic Ferraris, and big heavy impact in the wall. He's not going to lose any spots, thankfully. Just holds on from Daniel Stevens.
Oh, yeah,
What a race.
Yeah, what a race, yeah. Well done to Webster. He was definitely the class act when it came to having a good car and a clean car. It definitely looked the most settled and well set up, and he looked after his tyres. I certainly wouldn't have picked him to finish second at the end of the race, so well done to him.
Race results are on screen. Wayne Burke, in the end, only half a second ahead of Cooper Webster. Forzan El Nabi finishes in 3rd position. Brady Myers in 4th. Jordan Ross brings it home in 5th position in the end. Brad Ryan probably feel a little bit disappointed in the end to finish in 6th. Deserved a little bit better than that with his performance. Marlon McMullen in 7th. Kyle Stokes in 8th position. James Scott in 9th. Rounding out the top 10, Jack Boyd.
There we go, and back to 11th. We've got Michael Cracknell to see him having a run tonight, and with a new number, Guy Leach in 12th. We didn't even really talk about Guy Leach, did we? He just kind of plucked away at that, so he's finished in 12th position. 13th will go to Jake Maloney. Jamie McKnight, horrid start to the race. He got caught up in other people's incidents, and we saw a very Holden Cruise-like car for him at one stage, but he's come back to finish in 14th. Harley Haber, he finishes in 15th. Michael Taliancic in 16th. Matthew Deere, 17th. Jason Bentz, 18th. Adam Gardner in 19th. And Matt Morris rounds out the 20.
In the 21st, we have David Sanford, followed by Dominic Ferreras in 22nd. 23rd will go to Stephen Varga after having that pretty awful moment coming out of the final corner, trying to get a run on Ferreras in the 23rd. 24th will go to Daniel Stevens, followed by David Kimmin in 25th. 26th, Jacob Knight, after unfortunately being low on fuel. 27th to Damian Johnston, and 28th, 29th, and 30th will be Matt Lepidevan, Mitchell Bales, and Grant Keynes.
In 31st position, we've got Joshua Pickett with Brett Loxton. Unfortunate end to his night. Finishes in 32nd in his championship defence. In 33rd position, Michael Hammond. Joshua Anderson, unfortunately, was doing a great job. Looked well and truly on for a top 10. He finishes in 34th. The rest of our DNS, Troy Maguire, Matt Muggleton, Sam Blacklock, Blake Purdy, Dane Warren, unfortunate for him as well. He was on for a podium well and truly. Sam Sutton as well looked really, really strong. And Griffin Gardner, Luke Harvey, Thomas McMillan, Nick Cummings, Job Stewart, Peter Sadler, Zach Best, Chris Robinson, and then Stuart Vaughan and Andy Sim, the rest of our field. In tonight's race, what a race it has been. It's been an absolutely action-packed night of racing. We will wrap it up there because we are well and truly running short of time, but it's been a really cool night of racing, and the cool racing continues tomorrow.
Yeah, you're certainly right, Jay. It's what a fantastic way to start off the Australian Online Supercar Championship. Very tough track is Belle, and seen some great racing, some great incidents, and some great controversy, and yeah, some great drives from some people who certainly I didn't expect to be right up there. But yeah, great way to start off this championship, and I certainly look forward to round 2 and what we have on this weekend.
Yep, tomorrow from 12:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, we will have the Raw before the 24th, so make sure you do tune in and do subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network because you can keep up to date with everything that goes on in the iRacing sphere. And of course, next week we start endurance mode and we head to... Where do we head to next week? Watkins Glen.
Ooh.
Watkins Glen, we run the classic boot layout, so something a little bit different. We don't usually run that layout in the V8, so it'll be really cool to see a different style of track here on the iRacing Esports Network, the new home of the West End Mazda Australian Online Supercar Championship. Cam, thanks for jumping in tonight. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a really, really cool night of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Belle turns it on every time with AOSC, so yeah, going to be interesting to see how Watkins Glen goes for the first enduro.
Monty, thanks as well. It's been a really cool night of racing, and this season it's going to be absolutely action-packed.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, Jay. I always kind of make sure that my Friday nights are free to jump in and do this. And yeah, I tell you what a way to start off this season. I certainly, was a bit skeptical about how it would all go, being Belle Isle being the toughest kind of track for within the iRacing service, I feel. And yeah, certainly, great way to get the drivers on their toes and get them ready for an action-packed championship.
Definitely has been an action-packed night of racing. We're going to have an action-packed season ahead, 16 rounds. So make sure you do follow us on our Facebook page and keep up to date with everything in regards to this championship, as well as all of our other championships here on SimSpeed. Big thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. We are SimSpeed. This is the iRacing Esports Network. And we will see you tomorrow for the iRacing Raw before the 24th. Thanks again to West End Mazda, LeBlanc, also to Sam Blacklock Media and Knight Rider Designs. Your winner for round 1, Wayne Burke.